Welcome, everybody. Warm welcome. Those of you who are with me on Zoom and those of you who are live on YouTube. Today is appropriate World Mental Health Day. So let's start off the series of daily practice sessions. A lot of you have been reaching out to me, feeling very, you're not able to hear me, is it? No sound, is it? Let me just check one second. Oh, you can hear me. Some of you can hear me. Give me a second. Let me just double check my microphone. Let's do it without these. All right, hopefully I'll just get my microphone closer. Hopefully that'll work better. Yeah, most of you can hear me. That's great. So these are going to be practice sessions. A lot of us are feeling very stressed out. A lot of you have been reaching out to me because family members have been unwell or some of you have been unwell. I know some of you yourself are in the essential services. Some of you are doctors and you're really extending yourself on behalf of everybody. So it's a time for us to replenish ourselves, be practicing every evening. I don't know how much time we'll practice. Could be 20 minutes, could be half an hour, could be longer. We'll just meet at 10:30 every and let's just practice. Let's just spend some time to settle and to release and to strengthen ourselves. I got a couple of nice posts today I felt like reading out. My brother sent me one and it goes like this. When thinking about life, always remember this. No amount of guilt can change the past, and no amount of anxiety can change the future. So guilt doesn't change our past, and anxiety doesn't change our future. What's happened is deal with it in a balanced, equanimous way. And another very nice post someone sent me. This is by Brené Brown, who's a very famous psychologist, researcher, sociologist, I think. She's done a lot of research on emotions and vulnerability. So she says, my internet connection is unstable. Just get used to it. It's going to be unstable. It's going to be unstable because I'm in the mountains. Just read between the lines if you can't hear me. Joy collected over time fuels resilience by ensuring we'll have reservoirs of emotional strength when the hard things do happen. Again, just joy reservoirs of emotional strength. The hard things do happen. Let's sit comfortably, and it's also late at night. So if some of you want to sit, you can sit. You want to lie down, you can lie down. You don't have to have your. That's a good idea. I could also switch my video off for bandwidth. I can do that. You don't have to have your video on either. And let's just use this time to replenish and tune into us. So go ahead. I'm going to put my video off. It's a good suggestion. It might help with bandwidth. All right, so bring your attention to what you're hearing, any sound you're hearing. For the rest of this practice, sounds will not disturb you. Every sound, natural sound, man-made sound, is an invitation to be more present. It's like a bell in a monastery, reminding you to be present. Even the sound of my voice is an invitation for you to be present and notice the beauty of this moment, irrespective of what else is happening. And the main point of this practice is to shift from resistance, which is our idea of how life should be, to opening ourselves up to the way life is. From resistance, which is coming from an egoic space of I know what's best, to opening ourselves up to the way life is, which is also another word for surrender, surrendering to a larger intelligence, which we may or may not always understand. It doesn't always make sense, but that's fine. And my intention is that irrespective of where you are and what's going on with you, irrespective of whether you have met me before or are familiar with these teachings or not, irrespective of whether you feel these kind of things work for you or not, you meditate or not, no matter what's going on, these sessions are going to connect you back to yourself in a very beautiful way, connect you back to your own resources, your own strength, your own clarity. So it's a chance for you to reconnect with yourself in a very simple and yet very potent way. Awakening all the senses, not only what you're hearing, also what you're feeling, also what you're smelling. Really connecting with this now moment, not just your ideas about now, but the actual now. And a big part of that is stepping into our lived experience. Because the body is always in the now. So what's it like to inhabit your body? Even if it's not very pleasant in the beginning. Because when we're living in our thoughts, in our worries, in our plans, we tend to, in a way, dissociate from our body. But in this moment, inhabit your body, even if it feels a little uncomfortable. Even if there's some emotions there that you'd rather not feel, or some tightness that you'd rather not. The real tightness is there. Your body is asking you to come back home. Give me attention. It's a beautiful quote. We're always together, but you're never really with me. It's not the same anymore. What's the matter? Don't you love me anymore? We're always together, but you're never really with me. It's not the same anymore. What's the matter? Don't you love me anymore? Said the body to the mind. The simple act of just getting present with what you're feeling, even if that's unpleasant, is one of the most revolutionary things you'll do every day as you join me for these sessions. Fully feeling, fully inhabiting your experience. Not trying to make sense of it, not comparing it to how it should be, not trying to get to the next. And a natural process of unburdening, whether or not you understand it, things start dissolving, tension starts dissolving, all the knots in your being start dissolving, knots of anxiety, knots of fear. The biggest knot is your imagination of who you think you are. And actually, one of the biggest reasons we are in pain and suffering is life is trying to expand our version, our understanding of who we think we are. So it's birthing pain at one level. So whether or not any of that makes sense, just welcome your present experience. Why? It's already here. And what's it like, even for a few breaths, to drop all resistance, all judgment, all comparison, even all preference for how you should or shouldn't feel. What's it like to trust the deeper intelligence of life and not your idea of how life should be? Inviting us to feel an invisible thread of connection between all of us. You may or may not know others who are joining us in this practice, but just feel an invisible thread of connection. Connecting all our hearts. My heart connecting to each one of your hearts. And your heart connecting to each other's heart, like a web, a matrix of light. Meditation things. It was remarkable how, even though the meditation was done in silence, it was a tremendous boost to just sit together with a group of people, 10, 15 people, twice a week. Just feel very replenished, very supported. So whether or not you understand this or even believe this, as each one of us practice now, some of us are feeling quite vulnerable, quite tired, quite bruised by life and all that's going on. Some of you have lost loved ones, I know that. And some of us are feeling quite grateful and quite strong and quite confident that only the good will come out of this. So in this moment, a balancing happens. The strong ones support those who are struggling. And those who are struggling remind the strong ones power of surrender. Can you allow yourself to taste a certain inner silence, even if briefly, doesn't matter, even for 2 seconds, for 5 seconds, even for one breath, a certain inner silence behind the chatter of the mind, behind the emotions. What's behind all that? Can you glimpse it? Can you taste it? Even for a micro moment. A peace that does not require upholding, a truth that does not require protection. It just is. This kind of practice, you can't do it wrong. No particular way you have to do it. It's about welcoming whatever's happening. So even if you're feeling quite agitated, restless, just stay with us. Just stay with us. Just go through this. Just inviting each one of us to feel replenished and nourished by this collective energy, by this intention to bear witness to ourselves and there's this beautiful teaching of Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva of compassion. He talks about listening. The Buddha asks all the Bodhisattvas, what is the foremost practice to become Buddha? And they all have different answers. And Avalokiteshvara says, the foremost practice is to listen. Listen to what? Listen to the cries of the world. The cries of suffering. Of course, there's the obvious suffering of physical pain and emotional pain. But anyone you're not something, but there's still a cry. Something is out of place. Something is not the way it should have been. Or there's a fear of losing what you do have. The fear of losing what you do have. So Avalokiteshvara says, listening to the cries of the world. So this is compassion. And the Buddha agrees that is the foremost way to attain Buddhahood. And Avalokiteshvara of sitting, hearing the waves. It's incessant. The sound of the wave incessant. Keeps coming, keeps going. Directly involved, but opening ourselves up. You don't have to hear it through a news channel. You can hear it in your heart. Just radiating peaceful wishes. Never underestimate the power of your intention. So those of you who are feeling strong enough, spontaneously start radiating compassion. Strong, just replenish. Allow yourself to just receive this beautiful light. Either way, go deeper into your own experience. Infinite blessings too. See what answer comes. For example, infinite blessings to all those who are concerned about their family members. So I'll keep saying infinite blessings to, and then you see what answer comes to you. And spend the next couple of breaths radiating loving wishes, compassionate wishes, like a lighthouse. Infinite blessings to. Infinite blessings to. See what answer comes from radiate infinite blessings. Anyone or anything that comes to your heart. It could even be yourself. Infinite blessings too. I'm going to ask you some questions. Just answer in your own mind. What is something or someone that supported you today or is supporting you right now? See what answer comes. Take a moment to be thankful. What was the hardest part of your day? And of course, some of you were just starting your day, so you could think of the previous day. That's fine. What was the hardest part of your day? And just notice it, acknowledge it. Don't blame yourself for it. What was the hardest part of my day? It's okay to just bear witness. What is something that reliably supports me at this time? Something that reliably supports me. It could be a habit, could be a practice, it could be a learning. What is something that reliably supports you at this time? The source of strength for you. Assuming the universe or God, or whatever word you like, is listening to you right now. Assuming the universe / God, or whatever your favorite word is for higher intelligence, is listening to you right now. And you could ask one thing. Go ahead and ask one thing. Ask from your heart. If there is a tiny change you make, so tiny it's like 1% or even 0.1%. If there's a tiny change you can make, so tiny that it's 1% or even 0.1%, that'll make your day a lot better. It'll make you stronger, calmer, more resourceful, What is that 0.1% or that 1%? Tiny change that'll go a long way. Can you come up with one such thing? Can you see yourself doing that, living that, being that? We can all take 3 deep breaths. And thank yourself for taking this time for yourself. I want to share with you a video made by one of the teachers I admire, Richard Lang. It's a short video, just 2 minutes. So you can slowly open your eyes whenever you're ready. And you can watch this video when you're ready.
Who are you? What you are depends on distance.
We've got some annotation happening. Wait, let me put it off. The other way to do it. Let's try again.
At several meters, you are a person. But when I approach you, you change. Now you are a cell, a molecule, an atom, until at very close range you disappear. When I move away from you, you change again. Now you appear as humanity, the Earth, the solar system, the Milky Way. Finally, you disappear again. All these layers are appearances of you. You are a many-leveled living system. But what are you at the center of all your layers? No outside observer can tell you, because they always remain distant from you. But you are no distance from yourself, so you can see what you are at center. Here at the center of all my layers, I see nothing. No face, no head, nothing at all. Looking out, I see that this empty, aware space is full of the whole world. Are you the same?
So this is Teachings of Douglas Harding. You can look it up on headless.org. Put my video on for a bit. Right. So at this distance, I have a face. But if I move my laptop further and further away, then I start becoming a room. If I take it far enough away, it becomes a house. If I take it even further away, it becomes a town. It becomes a state, it becomes a planet, it becomes a galaxy. And if I bring it in, then it becomes a patch of skin, it becomes a cell, it becomes a nucleus of the cell, it becomes molecules, atoms, subatomic particles. So who am I at zero distance? And nobody else can tell that to me. That's something I have to figure out for myself. And you can't really figure it out because you can't, it cannot be known. It is a knower. So the reason I'm pointing this out today is one of the reasons we have anxiety and stress is because we are identified with a particular layer of ourselves, a certain idea of who we think we are. And that's part of the stress. If you imagine you're a human being, you will experience all the stresses of being a human being. And of course, you are at one level a human being. We're not denying that. But like from here, I can see my left hand, I can see my right hand. But as I trace it up, I don't see a head. In my direct experience, I don't see a face, I just see a space. And in this space, this entire room is there, all of you are there. So to shift from having a space to imagining yourself as a face, to recognizing that you are a space. You're a space in which all kinds of things arise and pass away. This is a fundamental shift which can lead to sanity. And even in the midst of all this chaos that's happening for many of us, you will find a place to rest. You will find a place which is untouched by any of that. So yeah, I don't know how much of this made sense to any of you, but for me, this is something that's very, very supportive to recognize that I'm not just what I think I am. I'm not just what the world thinks I am. I am that which knows all of this. So shifting, I've been talking about this quite a bit, shifting one's primary identity away from I'm a body and I'm a mind to I'm awareness. I am awareness. And when there's a sense of connection, then that's love. When I see myself as everything, that's love. When I see myself as nothing, that's wisdom. And between these two, this life flows. That's a quote by Nisargadatta Maharaj. All right. So that is today's practice. If anybody wants to say something in the chat, you can. And we will continue meeting at 10:30 p.m. India time. So you can join me. Same link, and it'll also be on YouTube. Oh, is it 11:11? Oh, that's nice timing. That's nice. Thank you. Good. Good. So take rest, everyone. Be well. And we'll continue our practice like this. Take care. Let's make a Mayurma. Mayurma is a symbol of loving wishes. Take your hands up. Bring them down, make a big heart. And make an infinity symbol, which is a lying down 3 times. Second is bigger. Third is huge. Come to your heart and we say, Mayurma. Mayurma means loving wishes for all. All right. Be well. Take care.